The rain battered the windshield of my beat-up Toyota Corolla as I sat in the parking lot of a dimly lit diner, my hands trembling on the steering wheel. It was October 12th, 2023, a date I'd never forget. Not because of the storm raging outside, but because of the storm that had just erupted inside me. After 4 years of marriage, I'd uncovered something that turned my world upside down. My wife, Elena, was cheating on me. The evidence wasn't subtle anymore. A text message I wasn't meant to see, a pair of cufflinks on our dresser that weren't mine, and now, tonight, the final nail in the coffin. I'd followed her here, to this grimy diner 40 miles from our suburban home, and watched her slip into a booth with a man I didn't recognize. My heart pounded with a mix of fear and fury as I gripped the wheel tighter, unsure whether to storm in or drive away forever. Let me rewind a bit. Elena and I met 6 years ago at a charity gala in downtown Chicago. I was a scrappy freelance photographer back then, barely scraping by, while she was a rising star in the marketing world. Sharp, stunning, and way out of my league. She had this laugh that could light up a room, and when she aimed it at me that night, I was hooked. We talked for hours, her wit matching mine, and by the end of the night, I'd convinced myself I'd never meet anyone like her again. I was right. 3 months later, we were inseparable, and after 2 years of dating, I proposed on a snowy rooftop under a sky full of stars. She said yes, tears freezing on her cheeks, and I thought I'd won the lottery of life. Our marriage started strong. We bought a fixer-upper house in the suburbs, spent weekends painting walls and dreaming of kids someday. I landed a steady gig with a local magazine, and Elena climbed the corporate ladder at her firm, her ambition driving her late into the night. Sure, there were cracks, her long hours, my occasional jealousy, but we always patched them up with apologies and promises, until about a year ago, when the cracks became chasms. It started small. She'd come home later, her excuses flimsier. "Client dinners," she'd say, brushing off my questions with a tired smile. Then her phone became a fortress. Password protected, always face down. I'd catch her texting in the middle of the night, claiming it was work, but the way her fingers flew across the screen felt too personal. I tried to ignore it, chalking it up to paranoia. I didn't want to be that guy, the insecure husband who snoops. But doubt is a seed, and once it's planted, it grows roots you can't rip out. The first real clue hit me 3 months ago. I was cleaning the bedroom while she was at a team-building retreat when I found those cufflinks. Silver, engraved with the initials JR. They weren't mine. My initials are MT. Michael Tanner. I stood there, staring at them. My stomach twisting into knots. Fear clawed at me, whispering possibilities I didn't want to face. When she got home, I asked casually, "Hey, whose are these?" holding them up. Her face froze for a split second before she laughed it off. "Oh, probably from a client gift bag. You know how they hand out random stuff at these events?" I nodded, wanting to believe her, but the seed of doubt sprouted a little more. Then came the text. 2 weeks ago, I'd borrowed her phone to order takeout. Mine was dead, and a message popped up from an unsaved number. "Can't wait to see you tonight. Wear that red dress." My blood ran cold. I stared at the screen, the words searing into my brain. She'd walked in right then, snatching the phone from my hand with a forced laugh. "Just a coworker joking around," she said, but her eyes wouldn't meet mine. That night, she left for another work thing, wearing the red dress I'd bought her for our anniversary. I didn't sleep. I couldn't. Tonight, though, was different. Tonight, I couldn't ignore it anymore. She'd said she was meeting a client, but something in her voice, too casual, too rehearsed, set off alarm bells. I told her I'd be working late too, then followed her instead. The rain had started as I trailed her car, my headlights off to avoid detection, my heart racing with a sick mix of dread and adrenaline. When she pulled into this diner, I parked across the street, watching as she stepped out, her umbrella shielding her from the downpour. She didn't look like a woman meeting a client. She looked like a woman on a date. Hair perfect, heels clicking, that red dress peeking out from under her coat. And then I saw him, tall, broad-shouldered, in a tailored suit. He met her at the door, his hand brushing her lower back as they walked inside. My chest tightened, a wave of nausea hitting me. I wanted to scream, to run in and confront them, but my body wouldn't move. Fear paralyzed me. Fear of the truth. Fear of losing her. Fear of what I'd become if I stayed. But excitement flickered too, a twisted thrill at finally knowing, at having the power to decide what came next. Urgency pulsed through me. I couldn't sit here forever. I had to act. I grabbed my phone, hands shaking, and snapped a photo through the diner's window. There they were, laughing, her hand on his arm. Proof. My proof. I didn't know what I'd do with it yet, but it felt like a weapon in my arsenal. Then I drove off, the rain blurring my vision as much as the tears I refused to let fall. I didn't go home. I couldn't face our bed, our photos, our life. Instead, I checked into a cheap motel on the edge of town, the kind with flickering neon signs and stained carpets. Lying on the lumpy mattress, I replayed every moment of our marriage, searching for the turning point I'd missed. Sleep never came. The next morning, I made a decision. I wasn't going to confront her. Not yet. I needed a plan, a way out that didn't leave me broken. I called my buddy Nate, a guy I'd known since college, who lived up in Wisconsin, 2 hours north. I need to get away, I told him, my voice raw. Can I crash at your place for a bit? He didn't ask questions. Just said, come on up, man. Doors open. By noon, I'd packed a duffel bag with clothes, my camera, and a few essentials, leaving everything else behind. I didn't tell Elena. I just left a note on the kitchen counter, taking some time to think. Don't call. Then I was gone. Nate's cabin sat on the edge of a lake, surrounded by pine trees and silence. It was the kind of place that could swallow your thoughts whole, and I needed that. He greeted me with a bear hug and a beer, his scruffy beard and easy grin a balm to my frayed nerves. You look like hell, he said, clapping me on the shoulder. Want to talk about it? I shook my head. Not yet. He nodded, respecting the boundary, and we spent the afternoon fishing in quiet companionship. The cold air bit at my skin, but it felt good. Clean, like it was stripping away the grime of betrayal. Days turned into weeks. I didn't check my phone, didn't answer Elena's calls. There were dozens, then texts, then nothing. I threw myself into photography, capturing the stark beauty of the woods, the way the light danced on the water. It was therapy, a way to rebuild something she hadn't touched. Nate's girlfriend, Lila, started joining us for dinners, her sharp humor pulling me out of my shell. She was a mechanic, tough as nails, and when she offered to teach me how to fix up an old motorcycle Nate had lying around, I said yes. The grease on my hands, the roar of the engine. It was freedom I hadn't felt in years. But the past doesn't let go that easily. One night, as I sat by the fire pit, a car's headlights sliced through the darkness. My stomach dropped. I knew that engine's hum. It was Elena's Audi. She'd found me. Fear surged through me, followed by a jolt of excitement. What did she want? To beg, to fight, to lie again. I stood, fists clenched, as she stepped out, her face pale under the moonlight. Michael! she said, her voice trembling. "We need to talk." I didn't move. "How'd you find me?" She hesitated, then admitted, "I tracked your phone before you turned it off. I've been driving around for days, asking people if they'd seen you." Her eyes were red, her hair a mess. Nothing like the polished woman I'd married. Urgency crackled in the air as she stepped closer. "Please, just hear me out." Against my better judgment, I nodded. We sat on the porch, the lake lapping at the shore behind us. She started with apologies, tears streaming down her face. "It was a mistake, Michael. His name's James. He's a VP at work. It started as flirting then. I don't know how it got so far. I ended it the day you left. I swear." Her words were a knife, twisting deeper with every syllable. I wanted to believe her, but the image of her in that diner burned too bright. "Why?" I asked, my voice low, dangerous. She flinched. "I felt alone. You were always working, and he made me feel seen." I laughed, a bitter sound. "I was working to build a life for us. You think I didn't feel alone too?" She reached for my hand, but I pulled back. "I'm not coming back, Elena. You killed us." She sobbed then, a raw, guttural sound that almost broke me. "Almost. I'll do anything," she pleaded. "Counseling, whatever you want. I love you." Those words, ones I'd once lived for, felt hollow now. I stood, towering over her. "Go home. We're done." She stared at me, stunned, then stumbled to her car and drove off, her taillights swallowed by the night. I thought that was the end. I was wrong. A month later, I'd settled into a rhythm at the cabin. Working remotely, riding the motorcycle, even dating Lila's cousin, Sarah, a quiet artist with a wicked smile. Life was simpler, lighter. Then the email came. It was from Elena, subject line, "You need to know the truth." My pulse raced as I opened it, dread pooling in my gut. "Michael," it read, "I didn't tell you everything. James wasn't just an affair. He blackmailed me. He had photos, stupid ones I sent him early on, and threatened to send them to my boss if I didn't keep seeing him. I was trapped. I'm not asking for forgiveness, just for you to understand. I've quit my job, moved to Seattle. I won't bother you again. Be happy." I sat there, staring at the screen, my mind spinning. Blackmail? Photos? Was this another lie? A desperate play for sympathy? Or had I misjudged her completely? Fear gripped me, not of her, but of the uncertainty. Had I walked away from a victim instead of a villain? Excitement followed. Maybe there was more to this, a mystery I could unravel. I dug deeper, calling an old friend in Chicago who worked IT. "Can you trace an email header?" I asked. He could. Within hours, I had confirmation. The email came from Seattle. At least that part was true. Then came the twist. A week later, a package arrived at Nate's. No return address, just a USB drive inside. I plugged it in, heart pounding, and found a single video file. It was Elena, sitting in a bare apartment, her voice shaky. "Michael, if you're watching this, I'm probably gone. James found me. He's not who I thought. Connected, dangerous. I'm leaving this, so you know I didn't lie. There's proof on my old laptop, under the floorboard in our closet. I'm sorry. Run." The screen went black. Panic seized me. Dangerous? Gone. I called her number. Disconnected. Urgency drove me back to Chicago that night, breaking every speed limit. Our house was dark, untouched since I'd left. I tore up the floorboard in our closet and found her laptop, password protected. After hours of guessing, I cracked it. Michael forever. Inside were files, Emails, photos, recordings. James wasn't just a VP. He was tied to a shady investment ring, using Elena to funnel money through her firm. She'd tried to break free, and he'd threatened her life. I didn't know if she was alive or dead, but I knew one thing: I wasn't running. I took the evidence to the police, my hands shaking as I handed it over. They raided James's office the next day, arresting him on charges I didn't fully understand. Elena's name stayed out of it. Maybe she'd planned it that way. 6 months later, I'm back at the cabin, the motorcycle humming under me as I ride the trails. No word from Elena, no sign she survived. I tell myself she's out there, starting over, but the not knowing gnaws at me. Sarah's beside me now, her hand on mine, and I'm trying to let go of the past. But some nights, when the wind howls through the trees, I hear her voice. Urgent, afraid, alive, and I wonder if I'll ever stop running from the shadows she left behind. A quick disclaimer: this is a fictional tale inspired by real-life experiences shared online, but all characters, events, and details are products of imagination. It's meant for entertainment purposes only, so please don't take it as fact or try to track down anyone involved, because they don't exist.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with your friends. And if you'd love to see more content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so you never miss a new upload. See you in the next video.